This isn't sketchy at all, is it? There's one more ratchet strap that's going to go across the top, but we'll see how it does. Hey fam, it's Matt, and welcome back to the vlog. So today is the day that I am leaving for Alaska, and I'm filming this on my phone because all my filming stuff is actually still in the house. I got to put it in my truck, but I'm out here in the trailer just getting everything organized and ready to go, and hopefully once I'm done packing here I will hop in the shower and I will be hitting the road in about an hour. So super exciting. I have managed somehow to get all the stuff that I want to take with me into the trailer, which is just a miracle. Oh, hold on, sorry, I want to hold the phone differently because I just got done editing a video where I filmed on my other iPhone, and the way I was holding it was messing with the microphone. Anyway, so yeah, somehow or another I've managed to get everything that I want to get in here. Yeah, the sketchiest part of this whole thing is this bin situation in the back. So let me flip the camera around and I will show that to you guys. So yeah, I got 6 bins, 6 full-size, 46 gallon. Is that what these are? 27 gallon, 46. That's my other bin that I'm leaving behind. Is a 46. No, these are so I got 6 27 gallon Home Depot bins, and then I'm gonna have a couple of these smaller ones on the top with just some leftover stuff that I couldn't fit in various cupboards, or I didn't want to for the trip. And so what's holding down this entire stack is going to be one D-ring on each side. I think if you guys remember, I showed that in a video. Yeah, I've got one D-ring on each side, and it's going to be carrying the weight of the world as I head up the Alaska highway with all these ratchet straps to keep things from moving around. So we will see how it goes. Well fam, never fails. The TPMS is having an issue once again, just like last year. We are still in Salt Lake, heading north. Whoa, why is it zoomed in so close? There we go. Alright, we're back on the DJI from the phone from the first clip. But it is Memorial Day weekend. We are heading north to Alaska, and traffic is crazy. I cannot wait to be out of all of this traffic on I-15 here, driving through Salt Lake. It is just insane. So yeah, it is currently about 1:30, and today we are driving to Butte, Montana, where I have a reservation at the KOA there. And then tomorrow we will drive to Calgary, where I have a reservation at a campground right next to their amusement park thing that they have. And then Sunday we are going to be once again taking the Icefields Parkway this time from the Calgary side. But I decided I wanted to drive it again, and we're going to go stay in Jasper, not in the same campground that I stayed in last year. This year we're going to stay in Whistler's campground, which is just on the other side of the highway from the Wapiti one that I stayed in last year. But this one is going to have full hookups. So I'm actually going to have full hookups tonight, and we'll have full hookups at Jasper on Sunday. And then we'll have full hookups one more time in Dawson Creek at Mile Zero campground. So the first half of the trip here I'm going to have full hookups, but I can't remember if the park at Callaway Park just outside of Calgary, if that has hookups or not. I don't remember. That's the plan for the next few days, and then we're just going to boondock it on the Alaska highway. And this year I'm leaving a little early, and I've built in a couple of extra days on the schedule just in case, because I am asking a lot of this little Tundra to be towing this big trailer behind me with all the stuff that's in the back. So I'm asking a lot of this poor half-ton pickup here. So we're going to be taking it nice and slow and easy, and just taking our time, not being in a big rush. Driving probably a maximum of 65 miles an hour ever, even on the freeways here in the US. But probably on the Alcan I'll be doing like 50 the whole way, I assume. Just because I don't want to stress the Tundra out too much with all the weight that I'm asking it to haul up this direction this time. So yeah, that's the plan. So just passing through North Salt Lake, and probably going to stop here in about an hour to take a stretch break, refill my water cup, and not sure if I'm going to need gas. I might not need to get gas until I'm into Idaho, but we'll see. All right, catch you down the road. Welcome back to another video series where Matt drives up to Alaska on the Alaska Highway. If you've never been to Utah, we do have this oil refinery right here, just on this side of I-15, just north of Salt Lake. So this is where a lot of our gasoline that we get here comes from. We got this little refinery right here. Also, we just won't talk about the price of gas on this trip. I'm just not even going to talk about it. Maybe I will, I don't know. But I'm trying not to think about it, because it's probably going to take me $2,000 to drive up this direction to Alaska this year, which is not making me excited. Yeah. 65 miles an hour feels so slow when the speed limit is 80. This big trailer, I don't want to go faster. We made our first fuel stop of the trip in Pocatello, Idaho, at a Maverick gas station, which is a local chain here in the Intermountain West. Great gas station chain. We are on the road again, somewhere north of Blackfoot, between Blackfoot and Idaho Falls here in Idaho. And we have got just under 3 hours, according to Google, to get to the campground tonight. But it is going to be later than, it's going to be longer than that. So I'm probably going to be rolling into the campground close to 9 o'clock tonight. So we'll see. Had to stop for gas stop number 2. This one I put 20 bucks in, which was not quite 5 gallons. But it's because towing this trailer with the Tundra, I don't have quite enough range to make it from Blackfoot, which is where I got gas last. Well, not even Blackfoot, from Pocatello all the way to Butte. So I should have stopped for gas in Idaho Falls, but I didn't realize that the gas stations along this stretch of I-15 in Montana are few and far between. So anyway, stopped at Dell, I think is the name of the place back there. Splashed 20 bucks in, and that should get me all the way to the truck stops just outside of Butte. So, yeah, Gotta keep that in mind as I keep going. Don't pass the good gas stops, even if you just filled up 30 minutes before, if you're not sure where the next one's gonna be. Alright, we've got 34 miles to the gas station. We are currently getting 7.2 miles to the gallon, and I've got a quarter tank left after they put in that 20 bucks worth, which was just under 5 gallons. Do you think that we will make it? It is just gorgeous over there with the setting sun. Not gonna roll down the window because it's too noisy, so sorry for a dirty window, but driving through here in golden hour is just gorgeous. I guess I should note that technically my Tundra has a 28 gallon fuel tank. I have filled it up when the needle was not empty and put 30 gallons in it, so it does take more fuel than what is on the technical specifications. But technically this only has a 28 gallon fuel tank. It's might be the only thing I don't like about the double cab Tundra. Other than that, for a single guy, it's just perfect because I don't need a ton of room in the back seat, and I would rather have the 6.5 foot bed, because for this generation of Tundra they didn't make a crew cab with the 6.5 foot bed. You can only get a 5 foot bed with the crew cab, and I wanted the larger truck bed. But it means that you didn't get the larger fuel tank with the double cab. It only came with the 28 gallon tank, whereas if you got the crew cab, I think it's a 36 gallon tank or 38, somewhere up there, upper 30 gallon fuel tank. So it's the only thing that I wish this Tundra had that it doesn't, is a bigger fuel tank. Now that is a solvable problem for multiple four figures of money, so that is not a problem that I will be solving. I would rather just carry a couple of extra fuel cans in the back of the truck versus paying like $2 or $3 grand to get a larger aftermarket fuel tank put in. Anyway, I think we're gonna make it. It's only 30 miles, and I think we'll make to the pilot truck stop that I have mapped out, and then the campground is 10 minutes further up the road. So we'll see, but I think we'll make it. Ooh, it's gonna be close. That needle is just above the E line. The car thinks we got 43 miles left of range, but I have never run the vehicle all the way down to the estimated range of 0, so I have no idea how accurate that computer is. But we are under 5 miles away from the gas station, so we should be able to make it, but it's a good thing I stopped and put in the 20 bucks back there. Now I am carrying extra fuel in the back of the truck. I do have my 5 gallon Wavian gas tank back there, plus 1 gallon, what are they called? It's the fancy one with the flip nozzle and a lever on the top. It's a Sure Can or something like that. Anyway, there's most of a gallon in that too that I use to fill the generator. But so I have between 4.5 to 6 gallons of extra fuel in the back of the truck. So, worst comes to worst, and it doesn't quite make it, then I can just pour a little bit more gas in there, and we'll get there. Ooh, I see the truck stops over there. I'll have to insert some sort of dramatic music into this part of the video. Will he make it?
We're totally fine. What were you guys even worrying about? I wasn't worried. You guys were the one that was worried. I was totally confident that we were going to make it here with plenty of fuel to spare. Totally confident. Alright. Let's see what the damage is going to be. It's currently $4.58 per gallon. Yay. Still going. Alright, that's where it stopped. Just over 29 gallons. Like I said, I've put 30 gallons in this before, so not entirely sure how big the tank actually is. Alright, with that drama out of the way, let's get over to the KOA. Alright, here it is. Late check-in, but that's typical for me. This will go in right here. Go figure out where I'm gonna go. Alright fam, I left the DJI in the truck, and I don't want to go back out for it because it's late and dark. But we're all set up at the KOA, and I just went and took a shower in their shower, much needed shower. I didn't want to bother trying to get the shower wherever. Oh, you guys can't even see it. But I didn't want to try and get the shower all set up in the trailer tonight. So, especially since there's not a ton of water in the freshwater tank. There's like maybe 8 gallons in there. So I'm going to top that off tomorrow morning. I'm going to dump the trailer tomorrow morning and get an early start. Because I need to go to Walmart for a couple of things, and then to account for any border crossing shenanigans. So we are all set up at the KOA for tonight, so I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning fam. It is the next morning and we are just getting ready to leave the KOA. I just got done packing the trailer up. I dumped the holding tanks and put more fresh water in it because I am gonna have hookups for the next couple of nights, but I just want to be prepared just in case. So we are gonna head over to the Walmart where I'm gonna buy a few things, and then we're gonna hit the road and cross the border and hopefully get to Calgary tonight. I also got to put another battery in this DJI camera when I get to Walmart. We are leaving the little KOA. When I showed up last night, there was no envelope for me, so I had to call the after hours maintenance guy, and he was like, well, when did you book the reservation? And it was like 2 weeks ago. And he was like, oh, normally those don't get missed, but I see you in the system, they just missed putting your envelope out. So he got me into the site that I was booked for. Yeah, decent little KOA. It's a little noisy because it's close to the freeway, but otherwise not too bad. The site was perfectly level, just gorgeously perfectly level. So that was nice. Yeah, we're just gonna cut over on this side street here and head over to Walmart. Also, it was a little chilly when I woke up this morning. It got down to 40 something according to my temperature thing that I leave in the trailer. So it was a little chilly.
But now that the sun's out, I took off my pants that I put on, put shorts back on because it's hot now. All right, we are done at Walmart. I picked up a few things that I realized that I needed or that I forgot. Also this morning, I found my parents' mailbox key in my pair of jeans, so I'll have to mail that back to them when I get back in Alaska. But yeah, done at Walmart. So next stop is going to be a gas station in Helena, which is about an hour away. So let's get on the road. Also, my battery charger, despite having it plugged into my power bank back there yesterday, did not charge my batteries. So I am desperately low on batteries. There's the anchor. I think the power bank did not like, I had the, let me see if I can get you guys back there. I had the battery charger plugged into the second 140 watt port. Next to this one on the right is the Starlink. This one on the left is going to the battery bank, to the battery charger. But I had the battery charger plugged into that middle port there, and I don't think it likes that. So I plugged it into that lower wattage one, and now it's charging. So hopefully we can get some batteries charged today so I can show you guys some footage. This is the highest charge battery, and it's at 40%. Just more of the behind the scenes logistics and technical issues you deal with when trying to film stuff for YouTube. Back on the freeway. Now here's the less fun part about coming out of Butte is we've got a huge climb coming up the hill here. Let's see if I can get around these trucks. But yeah, this is a huge long climb, and it's gonna make me get like 4 miles to the gallon as I climb this. So we're not going very fast. I'm gonna keep the RPMs between 3,000 and 3,500 if I can, because that's the sweet spot for the power band. We're doing 53 as we climb this hill. All right, that's the top of the big one. I can actually gear up into 4th gear now and head up towards 65 miles an hour instead of 55. Yeah, it's a pretty nasty little climb coming out of Butte. But the Tundra, you know, it drank a lot of fuel doing that, but it did it just fine. Just keeping it at 55 miles an hour. Didn't have to downshift once. Such a pretty drive through this part of I-15. Winding through the mountains between Butte and Helena. It's gorgeous. If you guys were here from my first trip on the channel of the Alaska Highway in 2023 with the cargo trailer, where I was sleeping in the back of my truck the whole way, this was my first rest stop of that trip at this rest area right here. Montana DOT, Jefferson City. Just parked right there, and it's a fairly decent night's sleep if I recall correctly. All right, first gas stop of the day. Gonna head over there to that Maverick. I'm only down a quarter of a tank, but I'm gonna stop here and in Great Falls and then in Shelby, so I can be nice and topped off with fuel before I hit Canada. All right, we are fueled up. So next stop is a truck stop just outside of Great Falls. Get this old beast up to speed. So one issue I've been having as I've been driving through yesterday and today is I think I need to adjust the weight of what's in the truck and the trailer. I think I've got too much weight in the bed. So later today, maybe when I get to the campground tonight, I'm going to unhook the truck from the trailer and then shuffle some weight around, take some stuff out of the bed that's currently back there, and put some more stuff up here in the cab, on the floor in front of the front seat, on the floor like up here in the cab, because I need to transfer some more weight towards the front of the truck. Because yeah, I think I've just got too much weight in the tongue area of the truck, and it's causing things to be slightly floaty feeling. And so even with the weight distribution hitch on the trailer, because I think, like I said, I've just got too much weight in the bed of the truck. Like at the last minute, I threw in the old LI Time batteries that I had in the Micro Mini. They're back there. There's a mostly full thing of propane back there. There's 6 gallons of gas back there. Some big treated wooden 4x4s that I've been using for wheel chocks on the trailer, and some more odds and ends. So there's some things I can do. I'm gonna take the batteries out and probably put them up here in the cab and just shuffle some weight around. There's some lighter weight things in the trailer actually that I think I can throw in the back of the truck, and that will make more room for things to be in the heavy things to be in the trailer right above the trailer axles. So that's something I'm going to work on tonight when I get to the campground, hopefully. You guys might also notice that I'm not running a dash mounted camera on this trip because I'm not using the GoPros anymore. So it's just going to be handheld. I could stick the DJI up there if I want to, and I might at some point, but going through and editing the videos, I prefer the handheld views because I can like twist it around and point it at things versus just having the static view there on the dashboard. So I think we'll probably just rock with the one handheld camera for now and see how it turns out. Spoiler alert, I am planning on making a couple more trips back and forth from Alaska to Utah this year, provided there's still fuel to do so. So we'll see if I change my mind after this trip. It's pretty scenic through here, but hard to look at the scenery when you're having to navigate a narrow lane through this construction area. Alright, we're out of that construction zone, which was because they're repaving the freeway through there. Which, based on the condition of the pavement on the left side of the freeway, it needs it. But it still was interesting, because this trailer is a foot wider than either of the 2 trailers that I've towed up to Alaska. My cargo trailer was... how wide was my cargo trailer? It was 16... I think it was 7 feet wide, and so was the Micro Mini. But this GoPlay is 8 feet wide, so it's a little bit of a different towing experience than I'm used to, especially through narrow construction zone like that. And just based on the experience of yesterday and today, I have decided that this will be the one and only time that I will tow this trailer with this truck for this distance. Maybe if it's not loaded down, like if I had nothing in the bed of the Tundra, and a lot less weight in the trailer, then maybe. But I had the feeling that this journey up the Alaska Highway with this Tundra, with this half-ton Tundra, even with all the suspension upgrades that I did, towing this 30-foot trailer with all this stuff is going to be not as enjoyable as one would expect. right, we're gonna pop into this Pilot for gas stop number 2 for the day. Next stop after here will be up to Shelby, Montana, and then after that, the border. You guys see what the price of fuel is there. $4.48 a gallon. Whew. All right, back on the road. Another 100 miles until Shelby, which will be our last gas stop in the United States until we get to Alaska. Fortunately, it's not very scenic between here and Shelby. It's this part of Montana is really flat, and it's a little windy, so I'm probably not going to film much until we get there, just because I need to concentrate on keeping the truck and trailer on the freeway. So I'll see you guys in Shelby. All right, pulled off at a rest area here, about 40 minutes south of Shelby, Montana, and shuffled some weight around. So I moved the Li Time batteries to inside the cab, just behind the front passenger seat, and put some additional heavy things that were in the very back of the truck in the trailer, and moved a few things around. So we'll see if that lets this thing ride a little better. So now there's maybe 130 pounds of weight that's not directly in the rear of the bed anymore. So we'll see. Anyway, getting back on the road. All right, so we are 10 minutes away from Shelby, which will be the last gas stop in the States. And I've slowed down to 60 miles an hour instead of 65. And that, plus shuffling the weight around, has me feeling a lot more in control of the truck and trailer combo here. So the wind is pretty gnarly out there. So that's part of the problem. But I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm still only getting 6.5 miles to the gallon because I'm having to fight this wind from this front that's blowing through. But yeah, feeling a lot better about things now. But I still think tonight I'm gonna shuffle more weight around. I'm actually gonna try and put more weight in the pass-through because I want, and take more weight out of the truck bed because I want more weight on that weight distribution hitch. I think that might be part of the problem. So I'll shuffle more things around, put some things in the back of the trailer, put some things in the pass-through, and take some light things out of the trailer and put them in the bed of the truck, and I think that'll make things a lot better. So anyway, we are 8 minutes away from Shelby, and then it's like another 25 minutes, I think, to the border. So we'll see you there. All right, we have the fuel. Now let's see if we can sneak out of this parking lot. This is the worst parking lot. I have fueled up by pulling up to these islands here on the left, but I prefer to go to those outer ones if I can. Let's see if we can get through here. They just need to yeet these parking spots on the right here. Just not even have them. There went my weight distribution bars. Wait for rush hour traffic in Shelby, Montana to go by. There we go. All right. We're gonna come up here and take the next left towards Lethbridge in Canada. I am gonna pull into the rest area at Sweetgrass just to take a quick break, because it's a pretty nice rest area with individual stalls and things before I go across the border, just in case the border crossing's long, and also to flip my car over into kilometers per hour before I get into Canada this time, unlike pretty much every other time where I forget to do it and then have to find a place to pull over once I get into Canada. Alright, that sign right there says 34 miles to the port of Sweetgrass. But don't call it Sweetgrass if you're on the Facebook groups when you're referring to coming through the northbound, because they will yell at you because it's Coots on the Canada side and not Sweetgrass. Sometimes it just, like, everybody knows what you're talking about. Come on. All right, we're about 15 minutes from the border, and we're driving into that. So, yeah. My mom also sent me a screenshot earlier of one of the Facebook groups where it snowed in the Yukon today. So, what a weird spring. Such an odd. It was an odd winter, and now it's just a weird spring. Check out these little, like, salt pools that they have in this area of Montana. Now, Utah has the great Salt Lake and then the Salt Flats, which I've been out to many, many times over my lifetime. But you got like little salty water pools here. Kind of cool. Also, don't you love when you just randomly start bleeding out of your nose? So then you get to look like this when you go up to the border. We're still 10 minutes away, so hopefully it stops before that, especially since I don't have very many Kleenexes in here anymore. Oh, I got another pack down there, never mind. Yeah, it's lovely. Well, we found the storm and the rain. Alright, we're turning in here to the rest area at Sweetgrass, and I'm going to have to sit here and deal with this bloody nose because it's a bad one. So, let you guys know how it goes. Fortunately, I have another pack of Kleenex. And then there's bathrooms and stuff over here. So, we'll deal with this, and then we'll head across the border. Alright fam, put the camera away for the border, so I'm on my phone, but we got the bloody nose resolved after about 20 minutes. So I am headed to the border. So I will see you guys on the other side. Alright fam, we are across the border. I got pulled in for an additional inspection and had to pay a fee for some certain things that I'm bringing across the border, but yeah, we are currently standing in Canada. Here, let me flip the camera around. Ta-da! All right, let's get on the road. We got a few hours until we get to Calgary. Whew. It is windy out there, fam, and we are driving straight into it. My poor car is, my poor Tundra is not liking this very much. I've gone 86 miles on a half a tank of gas. Let's let that sink in for a minute. That's like 15 gallons of gas. It's taken me under 90 miles. Just thought I'd share that. It is a windy out there. All right, guys, we're 10 kilometers from Fort McLeod, but you can see, I don't know if you guys will be able to see in the video, maybe I can zoom it in, but way out there in the distance I can see the Canadian Rockies. So we're not going to be going out to the Rockies today. That is a tomorrow task. Today we are just going to be getting to Fort McLeod and getting gas, and then heading north and then skirting around the edge of Calgary until we get to Calway Park, which is on the west side of Calgary. They've got a campground there. It's a little amusement park, but they've got a campground there. That's where I'm staying tonight. So, and I did call them because of the delay at the Canadian Border Services, and they said that they allow check-ins until 10 p.m. And so I should be there at 8:30 or so. Yeah, this wind is vicious. It's just brutal. I'm still getting about 6 miles to the gallon now, which is just insanely, it's just insanely poor mileage. This poor truck, I'm asking a lot of it. All right, we successfully made it to Fort McLeod and got gas, and I got like 5.8 miles to the gallon on that tank after I did all the conversions from from metric and Canadian dollars. So yeah, like 5.8 miles, 5.9, somewhere in there, miles to the gallon, and gas was $4.92 a gallon here after I did the math. So yeah, still cheaper than what I've heard Alaska is, so I guess we'll enjoy sub $5 per gallon gas while I can. Yeah, it was over $100 US just to drive from Shelby, Montana to Fort McLeod, Alberta. Fun times, fun times. Anyway, we are about 2 hours to the campground. See you guys there. Thanks for riding along with me on this first part of my 8th trip up to Alaska on the Alaska Highway. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that hype button if you have a hype, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we will catch you guys in the next one.